Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. I'm going to be talking about the election today. It looks like this will be the main subject for the next few weeks, which is unfortunate in a way to me because there are other things I want to talk about. There are things happening around the world and even in this country, but we're talking about the election because of all these lawsuits and recounts and other hoo-ha all around this election that is not going to be resolved for several weeks. Remember in 2000, the year 2000, if you were born then, the 2000 election with the hanging chads and the recount in Florida, that went all the way up to December 12th. So we're talking about lengthy process. The drop dead date, the safe harbor date by which time all the electoral votes have to be into Congress is December 8th so that they can be counted on the 14th. So we've got a little bit of time. I have advice, but I also have just a little news item here because Biden is already talking as if he is the president, and this really irritates me because I just heard a pundit, one of many I've heard since the election, refer to Joe Biden as the president-elect. He is not the president-elect. As I read in one analysis, there are still 94 electoral votes in play, 94 electoral votes whose states have not announced a winner yet. They're all, as I said, recounts and court cases. So we'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, it would be so nice and fair if all these talking heads on TV would stop referring to Joe Biden as the president-elect. They could perhaps refer to him as the presumptive president-elect or probable president-elect. Probably probable president-elect would be the most fair and accurate. Anyways, one of the promises that we got from the, well, I'm going to say possible president-elect or potential president-elect Joe Biden is or was during the election that we would see a new era of peace breaking out, that he would be uniting the country, and that all these demonstrations, all this violence and looting and burning in the street, that would all stop. Well, let me give you this headline. Biden target of profane graffiti in Portland as crowd smashes windows at Democratic campaign office. Portland demonstrators identifying themselves as Antifa targeted a Democratic campaign office Sunday, shattering windows and spray painting messages like, quote, F Biden, unquote, and quote, no presidents, unquote, on the building. The Multnomah County Democrats building in Portland was left vandalized Sunday by a group of members appearing to identify as Antifa, according to the Portland Police Bureau. Several members of the group began to tag the office with graffiti and broke out several of the building's windows, the Portland Police Bureau said in a press release. Police released several photos showing the damage, one of which photos is the photo that you see behind me that I'm using for the title of today's vlog. So if there's any peace, I haven't seen it, and I would also predict, well, there have been these mass demonstrations of support for Joe Biden, and those have been peaceful in all fairness. But they were also not wearing masks, many of them, no social distancing. Suddenly, that's not a problem. But what I want to leave you with today is some advice, because if you've been watching my vlog, you've noticed I've quoted a couple of stories in the past, and then I had to later correct them. I had to take the stories back. The point is that you're going to have a lot of this, I predict, between now and when the election is finally settled. You're going to have a lot of lawsuits, you're going to have a lot of vote recounts, and you're going to have, this is most important, you're going to have a lot of rumors. My advice, what I urge everybody to do, is to stay calm and wait for the facts. I've said this before in earlier vlogs about other controversies where people have jumped to conclusions and then had to walk them back, or jumped to conclusions about issues such as the George Floyd death that have not officially been resolved. There has been no trial in that case, no verdict, no testimony of experts from the prosecution and from the defense. That's what I'm talking about. Wait for the facts. Don't jump on every rumor. Don't assume anything that you read in the media to be true. Just wait for the facts. And what will the facts be? How will you know when we have facts? When you have a verdict in a court case, when you have the results of a fairly conducted vote recount, when you have another election coming up. We have the runoff in Georgia, 2 Senate runoffs in Georgia. Hopefully these will be done fairly and will go smoothly. But you have to wait for those results to be announced and then see whether there are any challenges. And I would say also to the media, because if some of these recounts change some electoral votes, there are going, especially Arizona, and Fox News calling Arizona so early while waiting and waiting and waiting to call Florida, which was an obvious Trump win from very early in election eve. But Arizona, they'll be especially embarrassed, Fox News will, but all the other stations too. If anything is reversed, they're going to have egg on their face. They have a lot of problems right now with their reputations, regardless of how the election ultimately turns out, regardless of how right they turn out to be, if for no other reason than for how far off their polls were. So many of these polls, I mean, come on, Joe Biden leading Trump in Wisconsin by 17 points. And there is a chance that Wisconsin could turn around, which would make them look especially bad. Ignore rumors and don't assume that a claimed fact by our discredited media is actually a fact until it is verified by a verifiable vote count or by a court verdict. Just wait for the facts and wait for my next, and you won't have to wait so long for this one. It won't be weeks. Just wait another day for my next vlog. And in the meantime, it would be really great if you could give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Share with anybody you think would also like the video. Got any comments? Comment section below the video where you can put questions, suggestions for future topics. You could also visit my music channel of original songs. I've only got a couple. I'm working on more, but the link is in the description. And you could, well, I appreciate everybody spending your time with me. As always, I really appreciate that you're taking some of your valuable time to give to me. I hope I'm giving you something back that's worth your time. But most of all, I look forward to seeing everybody again. Until I do see everybody again, bye.